Hello and welcome to this new lesson that will help you to improve on your English language skills, especially your vocabulary using the standard VOA news. I believe that such videos are useful for students who wish to get a better score in their English language tests like the IELTS, PTE, or other similar ones. So let's get started. The first item of news in this news bulletin deals with the Islamic State's suicide attack in Kabul, Afghanistan. The attack killed and injured many people. Islamic State, what is that? It is the name of an organization, of course. The organization, or Islamic State, is fighting against the Afghan government and the Americans inside Afghanistan. And this organization has frequently accepted responsibility of carrying out suicide attacks. What is a suicide attack or suicide bombing? Now, an attack that is made in such a way that the person carrying out the attack gets killed during the attack, and that is the reason it is called a suicide attack. A suicide attack is generally much more damaging to life than other conventional attacks. Suicide bombing, of course, is you can think of it as a suicide attack in which the attacker blows himself or herself with a bomb tied to parts of his or her body. Another word that's been used in this news item is minority. Minority is a small group of people that exists, is a smaller group of people that exists in a community with other larger groups. Muslims in Afghanistan and other Muslim countries are broadly classified into two groups, the Sunnis and the Shiites. Shiites are a majority in some countries like Iran, but they are in minority in Afghanistan. And Islamic State here is killing the minority Shiite group, which is the smaller group of the Muslim population, and they're also attacking their religious places in Afghanistan through suicide attacks. Another expression that's been used in this news item is a great threat, and by a great threat, what we mean is great danger. The second news item in this news bulletin talks about the full reopening of U.S. visa services for Turkish citizens. The services were partly suspended or stopped after Turkey brought terrorism charges against one of the U.S. consulate officers. A word that's been used here is resume, and resume means to restart. For example, commercial flights resumed a few days ago after a period of 1 week. Okay, so resume means to restart. What's a visa? A citizen of a foreign country who wishes, say, to enter the United States must first get a visa issued by the U.S. government. A visa is a permission from the host country to enter its premises. A visa, or the permission, is placed inside the traveler's passport, which is a travel document issued by the traveler's country of citizenship. A link has been shared in the passage in the box below to show differences between an embassy and a consulate, and I would strongly recommend that you look at that link to understand these terms in a better way. Embassy employees are officials who work at the embassies. In a similar way, consulate employees are officials that work at the consulates. Both embassy and consulates, you can think of them as buildings in a foreign country where officials from the mother country work to improve relationship between two countries. Terrorism charges, that's one expression that's been used here. It means when someone has been accused of terrorist activities. So charges are basically accusations, or it's like a blame or an accusation, and terrorism charges means accusations of terrorism against someone. The next news item talks about Malawi, which is a country in Africa. In Malawi, a proposal to create special seats for women was heard or was damaged when government refused to consider it in the parliament. Now, some items of vocabulary have been used here, like the word push, which is more like an effort. To deal a blow to something means, you actually cause harm to a certain proposal or to a certain action. So deal a blow to something, here in this case, it means to cause harm to this proposal of providing seats to women. Underrepresented in government. Well, it means not given enough seats in a representative body such as the parliament. In this case, we're talking about women being underrepresented in the government. And proponents are the supporters. So Somali government. The next news item talks takes us to Somalia, where Somali government has taken control of its own airspace after 20 years. The Somali government lost control of its own airspace because of an internal conflict or a civil war going on in that country. In this news item, the word air traffic or the expression air traffic is used. Air traffic means, think of that as, think of them as airplanes or helicopters which are moving above the ground in the atmosphere, and that constitutes the air traffic for a particular country or nation. Now, Somalia's president is very happy about the development, and he says that it shows that the country is moving in the right direction. We have the word divisions here. The word divisions is used in this particular context. It means the strong and violent disagreements between different factions living in a society. We're talking about the disagreements within the Somali society here. The word airspace or skies, it means the same thing as like the area, think of that as the area above the ground that is under control of a nation for its air traffic. We also have a news item about a UN report which says that children have been treated very badly in their homes, in schools, and playgrounds in areas of conflict or in areas or countries where there has been where a war has been going on for some time, or a civil war has been going on for some time, or some sort of a conflict is happening here. Now, some items of vocabulary that are used here are a brutal year. A brutal year is a very cruel time period for a certain section of the society. In this case, we're talking about a very cruel year for children living in those areas of conflict. A blatant disregard is a complete dismissal of something. When you completely disregard or do not pay any attention at all to something. Here, a blatant disregard of the rights of children is the problem. People have been blatantly disregarding rights of children. A numbing catalog, that's a detail of event that's dreadful to your senses. That's hard to believe because it is so cruel. So we're talking about those events that have caused huge damage or harm or have been very cruel to children. I guess that's about it. And thank you very much for listening in. And I hope that we will soon meet again with a new news bulletin. Till then, goodbye.